The world of K-pop has always been painted with perfection. Shining lights, flawless stages, and idols who seem almost untouchable. But on September 1st, 2025, that perfect illusion shattered in a way no one could have predicted. What should have been a simple, joyful birthday moment for BTS's youngest star turned into a storm of emotions that left fans around the globe gasping, crying, and questioning what they had really seen. Kim Taehyung, V of BTS, was the one who set it all in motion. With a single post, a short and seemingly harmless video, he exposed a side of Jungkook that fans rarely get to witness. On the surface, it looked ordinary. Two close friends sharing a quiet dinner, a caption filled with warm wishes for Jungkook's 28th birthday. But beneath that simple frame, millions of eyes caught details that couldn't be ignored. The faint redness around Jungkook's eyes, the tremble in his voice, the way his smile faded as though it carried the weight of the world. And then, the moment that lit the entire fandom on fire, Taehyung leaning forward, pulling Jungkook closer, wrapping him into an embrace that looked too brief and too fragile to be ordinary. In that instant, the golden Maknae, who had always stood strong for ARMY, seemed to collapse. His head lowered, his shoulders trembling, as if he could no longer hold back everything he had been carrying inside. Why did Jungkook break down? Why then, and why in Taehyung's arms? These questions flooded every corner of social media, sparking threads, videos, and endless speculation. Some insisted it was gratitude, tears of relief after years of relentless pressure. Others believed it was something darker, a silent cry for help from a superstar whose life had become too heavy to bear. The timing of Taehyung's post made the moment even harder to ignore. Just hours earlier, shocking news had surfaced. An intruder had been caught attempting to break into Jungkook's home. Though the danger was neutralized quickly, the story rattled fans to their core. Was Jungkook's collapse simply the overflow of fear and exhaustion after such a terrifying day? Was Taehyung's embrace not just friendship, but protection, a reminder that even in the harshest storm, Jungkook would never stand alone? For ARMY, the image of Jungkook in Taehyung's arms became unforgettable. This wasn't the Jungkook bathed in stage lights, dazzling the world with flawless vocals and sharp choreography. This was Jungkook the man, tired, human, and vulnerable. The tears fans believed they saw were not part of a performance. They were raw, real, and unfiltered. It didn't take long for media outlets to seize the story. Korean publications reported it carefully, focusing on the bond between Taehyung and Jungkook. But Western outlets took a more dramatic route, describing the embrace as a breakdown, a cry for help from a global superstar under unbearable pressure. The headlines were gripping, but also troubling. Suddenly, a private birthday dinner had been turned into an international spectacle, yet amid all the noise, more questions surfaced. What had Taehyung whispered to Jungkook in that fleeting moment? Why did Jungkook's expression shift so suddenly, as if the dam he had built finally gave way? And why did Taehyung choose to share this clip with the world, knowing exactly how it would be dissected? Was it an accident? Or was it a deliberate reminder that idols, no matter how perfect they seem, are still human beings who bleed, feel, and sometimes break? For ARMY, the hug became both heartbreaking and reassuring. To see Jungkook, the group's youngest and often strongest, lean on Taehyung shook the fandom to its core. Some worried it was a sign he had reached his breaking point. Others clung to the hope that the hug itself was proof of resilience, that even in his lowest moments, Jungkook had someone who understood him. Behind the scenes, whispers of burnout have haunted BTS for years. The endless tours, the crushing schedules, the immense pressure of representing South Korea on the world stage, all of it has left scars fans can only imagine. Perhaps then, Taehyung's embrace was more than comfort. Perhaps it was a lifeline, giving Jungkook permission to let go, even if just for 1 second. But as the story spiraled across the internet, another truth emerged, one far less dramatic than the headlines suggested. The video Taehyung shared did not actually show Jungkook crying. What fans interpreted as trembling shoulders and glassy eyes may have been nothing more than lighting, camera angles, or the natural quiet of a man reflecting on his birthday. The hug that fans swore they saw? It was never fully visible in the footage. So how did the narrative of Jungkook breaking down in Taehyung's arms spread so quickly? The answer lies in the deep emotional bond between BTS and their fans. For ARMY, every flicker of emotion on Jungkook's face carries meaning. And with the frightening intrusion at his home earlier that day, fans were already on edge, ready to see signs of struggle where perhaps none existed. The media, eager for a story that would travel fast, amplified this sentiment, turning speculation into fact in the public's eyes. It's a powerful reminder of how narratives take shape in the digital era. A calm birthday dinner between two friends doesn't make headlines. But a superstar breaking down in tears? That story spreads like wildfire, fueled by algorithms, hashtags, and the collective emotions of millions of fans. Still, dismissing the story entirely would also miss its significance. Even if Jungkook did not cry in that moment, the emotional reaction it triggered in fans speaks volumes. ARMY cried not because they saw tears, but because they imagined his pain, empathized with his burdens, and projected their own love and fears onto him. In that sense, the story is both false and true. False in its factual details, but true in the way it captured a shared emotional reality. And perhaps that is why Taehyung chose to share the clip in the first place. Not to spark rumors, but to remind ARMY of the unshakable bond that ties BTS together. Sometimes silence says more than words. Sometimes a simple dinner between brothers speaks louder than any staged performance. The lesson in all of this is clear. Idols are not characters in a never-ending drama. They are human beings who deserve ordinary moments free from overinterpretation. By demanding hidden meanings behind every glance or smile, fans risk adding to the very pressure they want to protect BTS from. Yet, in the end, this moment will live on in ARMY's collective memory. Not as a scandal, not as a breakdown, but as a reminder. On September 1st, 2025, Jungkook celebrated his 28th birthday not with flashing cameras or roaring crowds, but in the quiet company of someone who has stood beside him through years of chaos. Whether or not there were tears doesn't matter. What matters is the bond, the silent promise that no matter how heavy the burden becomes, Jungkook will never have to carry it alone. As one fan wrote, "We cried because we thought Jungkook cried. But we smiled because Taehyung was there to hold him." And maybe, just maybe, that is the real truth behind the night that shook millions.